Sports Talk is your mid-morning Saturday show with former NFL and MLB player Ed Smith, along with co-host Jim Marshall. Catch it Saturday mornings 10 to noon on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060.
I don't usually get starstruck. I mean, we have people, Freeway was on the show last week, Gilead Kid's been on the show, The Whole Planet's been on the show, Lords of the Underground have been on the show, but I feel like I'm in the booth and I've made it talking to a member from A Tribe Called Quest. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Thank you very much. What's good?
Oh, no doubt, man. I have so many questions to ask you, but I'm real curious. How did you get into A Tribe Called Quest? Like, what made you go into the hip-hop side? When you look at the documentary, Q-Tip and Phife, rest in peace, talk a lot about growing up in Queens and on Linden, in the Linden part of Queens, and how they started rapping. How did you get involved in the group?
Well, I moved into the neighborhood when I was about 11, 12 years old. And Phife and Tip were already friends, you know what I mean? I came into the hood and me and Phife became friends very quickly. And he was like, I want you to meet my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? He introduced me to Tip. And then this is the bridge version, by the way, because you don't have enough time for the full version. But basically, Phife told Tip he wanted to rap. You know, nobody really started thinking about it as a group until I came around the neighborhood. I was in the beatbox and those guys were rapping and they were like, yo, let's make records. I was like 13 and we started making our first demo. You know what I mean? And that's how it all started.
Because we have a wide array of listeners, what were the type of tools that you used as a 13-year-old making your first demo? Like, what equipment did you have?
Oh, wow. Equipment. Like a 4-track. And like, I think it was like a little rolling sampler.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And Tip was also the master of making pause tapes, which, you know about pause tapes? You know what pause tapes are?
I do know about pause tapes. I saw the documentary, but you can explain to the listeners that may not know.
So, you'd have a cassette, you know what I mean? And whatever particular 4-bar portion, whatever 1-bar portion, you play that and record it, and then press pause. Bring the record back to where you want it to start from, and you gotta cue it up at the same time, and hit pause and let the record go at the same time, and keep doing that over and over again until you have 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or whatever. And that's how we used to originally rap over those before we had the real equipment and stuff.
So basically taking the equipment and looping it, playing it back over and over before the computers and the technology where you had a mixer, just looping it straight from the record. That's dope.
Straight from the record, yeah, absolutely.
As you guys blew up, and I mean, there's so many things, you know, that are chronicled. Like I said, a lot of people have seen the documentary. A lot of people are aware of the story. As you blew up, what I thought was so dope, and for me doing a sports talk hip hop show, I look at the early influences, groups like Tribe, but Native Tongues, when Native Tongues got together and bringing in De La Soul, bringing in Black Sheep, bringing in Moni Love, Latifah, what was it like performing and being in the studio, making Buddy and some of the great records that you guys made with the Native Tongue clique?
Oh, man, those times are incredible because it was incredible. It was a lot of energy, a lot of different people, a lot of different energy. It was like also having the reasons why I think people enjoy our records so much is because any given time you had 12 or 13 of the most talented people doing what they're doing at the same time. You know what I mean? And if it can get out of there, if it can get out of that room, it's probably going to be a good song. You know what I mean?
Definitely. So for those just tuning in, you're listening to the Lance J Radio Network. Coming to you from NBC Sports Radio. I have Jarobi from A Tribe Called Quest, one of the OGs of this hip hop artistry. coming in, chopping it up with us. I had to ask him some questions about A Tribe Called Quest and getting started and touring and all that good stuff. Now we kind of get into the sports stuff. You and I had a chance to chop a little bit before we did the taping, and you talked about your affinity for the Knicks and the Giants. It's funny, we're taping this. It's going to air a week later, but you have the Giants. So your football squad is the Giants.
Yeah.
You guys are in the 2-hole tomorrow, so the NFL draft is literally tomorrow. Should the Giants draft Saquon Barkley, or should they draft that next quarterback? And if a quarterback, who? Sam Darnold, the kid out of Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield. What do you want the Giants to do with that second pick?
As far as the quarterbacks go, I like the Baker Mayfield kid. There's just something more spunky about, like, you know what I mean? There's just something about him. He has some intangible quality that's going to make him like a leader in the locker room. So that's one of the things that I like about him, I think. Now we need to go Saquon Barkley. Look, we got 2 more years of decent Eli.
Man,
you know
I
what I
don't
mean?
know about that. I think you got a year and a half tops.
Listen, it's hard to throw footballs when you're running for your life.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So we can't really say how good a bat Eli is because he hasn't had protection for the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? So our receiving core is hard body. You know what I mean? We need a little help on the defense, secondary. You know what I'm saying? But I can say Saquon Barkley is the move. You got a couple more years with Eli. Make a little playoff or make another little Super Bowl push before he hangs it up.
Would you potentially, if you were the GM of the Giants, would you trade that second pick and maybe trade back? Because you got some other good players in the draft like Denzel Ward, Bradley Chubb. Obviously, you probably get a king's ransom for that second pick for a team that's starved for a quarterback.
Yeah, but this kid is one of those. I think this kid, the Saquon Barkley,
special.
is one of those. Yeah, he's one of those special talents. He's one of those guys who's like, I don't really care what hole I need to plug on my team. I'm taking that guy because he's like one of the best guys in the draft.
No, I agree. I think a lot of teams are making it more difficult than it is. They talk about drafting a running back. It's like when you have a guy that's like a generational potential talent, like Ezekiel Elliott was, like Adrian Peterson was, like a Bo Jackson type of person. You get that person.
Yes.
It doesn't. You see what having a strong running game has done for the Rams, what it's done for the Jaguars. I think the NFL is cyclical. It's back to where teams that have a strong running game are dominant. You talked about the receiving core for the Giants. So what's up? I'm always curious. What's up with your guy Odell Beckham? Like, what do Giants fans think about his antics and all the stuff he does off the field?
New York fans, we're a strange bunch. You know what I mean? We kind of like our athletes with a little dirt on them. You know what I'm saying? A little something to be in the paper every once in a while.
The back page of the Post.
He's doing this. Yeah. You have to, that's really important to be in New York sports. He's not doing anything crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? They've been picking on this kid since he's got there. You know what I mean? And I like him. You know what I'm saying? He's, probably the best receiver in the game right now. And we like a little disturbance.
What would you say, kind of shifting the conversation from the Giants, what would you say the New York Knicks have to do to fix their situation? Like, what do the Knicks have to do? Is Porzingis the guy that's going to lead you? Do you need to spend money and trying to draw a free agent? Like, how are you going to get the Knicks to where the Philadelphia 76ers are over the next several years by restocking that team?
Yes, obviously Porzingis is to do to build around, number one. Well, number one is, somebody has to kidnap James Dolan. That's the first thing.
Yeah, I hear that. For real.
That's the first thing
Definitely.
that has to happen. I don't wish death to nobody, but if he went missing, I wouldn't be mad.
Well, why? It's funny that you mentioned that, because the thing about the Knicks, and for those of us that aren't New Yorkers, we don't understand because they continue to put such a poor product on the court, but the sales are through the roof. Tickets at courtside at Madison Square Garden are north of $20,000 for one game. Why did the fans put up with that in New York?
It's just, I don't know. You know what I mean? Because, like, last year I was on the verge, man. I was on the verge of really jumping ship. I can't do it. I was definitely on the verge. It's just our team was like, you go up to New York and you just bleed blue and orange. You know what I mean? It's just a part of the DNA. And we are so rabid fans that, we do take it. We bitch and moan. You know what I mean? But we do take it. And we're just always loyal to our Knicks no matter what.
Do you follow the Yankees?
All day long.
So what do you think about Giancarlo Stanton? He's off to that pretty slow start. However, Aaron Judge is really establishing himself as one of the best dozen players or so in the playoffs. What do you think about the Yankees and their chances? And more importantly, man, I need you guys to stay away from my man Manny Machado, because I'm an Orioles fan. And I've been saying over and over again, if Manny Machado goes to the Yankees, like, I'm done with baseball. If the Yankees turn, you already turned the Marlins. Your boy Jeter is down running the Florida Marlins, using it as a AAA squad. If you turn the Orioles into another AAA squad, then I'm out.
For the Yankees. Yeah, that's what we're doing. It's the evil empire, baby. Just don't worry about it. Nah, but I'm not worried about the slow. I'm not worried about the slow start. I think that eventually he'll come around. You know what I mean? There's always big bats around. It's the beginning of the season. There's a lot of pressure being in New York. There's a lot of spotlight and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you just get past that. It's hard playing under that microscope in New York.
It is. That's really why you give so much respect to the Derek Jeters of the world, and the Bernie Williamses, the Mariano Riveras. I listen to WFAN, even though I'm out on the West Coast. I listen to WFAN. I get a lot of my radio influences from Francesa and the guys over at WFAN. Right. It's just the media in New York will eat you alive. I mean, it's not like the media on the West Coast or even the media in Chicago. It's a different breed performing in New York City.
Oh yeah, because you got these dudes that are calling you all sorts of names off the rip.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You have to perform, or they're talking dirty.